His family abandoned him because of his appearance, and they called him the strange beast. Notice what happened. Parents protect their children from every crisis by becoming a shield. Although every child should have such parents, it is not necessary. In the African country of Rwanda, a child fell ill with a rare disease that made his face very scary and ugly. Bagineza Librata. From Rwanda. Married and mother of 5. She became pregnant with her 6th child and was like any normal woman undergoing medical examinations. The ultrasound to see the condition of her child was normal and healthy. There was no error. All these tests were normal. There were no problems. After months of pregnancy, it's time to give birth. Bagineza Librata was taken to the hospital. She was ready to give birth, but doctors were unable to deliver her. And they discovered that Bagineza Librata could not give birth naturally. The doctor asked his team to prepare the operating room as soon as possible because it has become a bit dangerous. The team prepared the room and hurried Bagineza Librata to perform the operation. When the child was taken out, the doctors were shocked to see him. It seemed strange to them, and they could not control themselves with what they saw. Bagineza Librata regained consciousness and asked the nurses to see her son. When I asked them to see my son, I felt something strange going on inside the hospital. Bagineza Librata said. I don't know what's going on. Half an hour later, the nurse came carrying my son and said to me, "Go ahead." When I saw him I couldn't believe he was my son. I collapsed so much because his head was so big it looked like a triangle. I cried a lot and hugged him on my chest and said to him, "My beautiful son. Do not be afraid, I am with you, I will not leave you no matter what happens." Bagineza Librata left the hospital and went home, happy with her son, despite his appearance. But she did not expect what happened to her from her family, especially her husband, as the father insisted that he does not bear any responsibility for the child and described him as the son of Satan. Of course, the wife refused her husband's harsh orders. Rather than realizing it, the husband and his family left his wife and disabled child. This left a mother stranded while she struggled to take care of herself and her baby, along with her other children. After what happened to Bagineza Librata by her husband, she could not bear it. Because she could not keep up with life in the city, she moved with her disfigured son to the village. She struggles with him every day, moving into the village and leaving her other children alone in the city, to come to this village and ask for help which she has failed to find. But since her return to the village, other villagers have tortured her, mocking the child and calling him a monster and a stranger. Despite what the villagers did to her, she, living isolated and unable to work, continued to struggle to take care of herself and her son without medical support from the hospital. He didn't even know what the condition of his son was. But one thing she did feel, her baby was always in pain. After her son's photos circulated online, a GoFundMe page was set up that raised funds to send Bagineza Librata and her baby abroad for treatment. Thousands of pounds have been raised to help a deformed baby boy born with a rare condition dubbed devil spawn by his devious father. More than £58,000, and £32 million, has already been donated, with one user giving nearly £1,300. One person posted, "Strong woman, may her love spread and cause miracles in that part of the world and everywhere her son is known." Another said, "I pray that this child receives treatment soon and comforts him, he and his mother deserve the best." A third added, "Seeing this child crying and his tears broke my heart. I am praying for the necessary medical help and treatment." One woman online claimed to have identified with the condition, and suggested it could be a Clover malformation, known as Pfeiffer syndrome. It occurs when sutures fuse between the bones of a baby's skull before birth. There are 3 different types, and the first type produces mild effects, including broad toe and big toe. The NHS says, types 2 and 3 are more severe. Many sutures are affected and the shape of the head and face is very abnormal. The skull is short from front to back and very long, torsovalic. The face can recede completely and the eyes are prominent. The difference between types 2 and 3 is that in type 2 there is also hydrocephalus, and this pushes the skull into the shape, when seen from the front, of a clover leaf, the clover skull. Depending on the severity of the condition, surgery to reshape may be required, often during the first years of life. Many people born with this syndrome have learning difficulties and long-term airway and feeding problems.